I'm just hoping that I didn't do a mistake by driving the car in here. But I think I'm going to be able to find something here because it is interesting. Nothing is obvious, but it is interesting. It's extremely sketchy hiking here. I don't actually think there is a proper trail here. The trees are throwing snowballs at you as well. Oh yeah, lovely. Oh, just lovely. Ooh. Ooh. To the last one, but it's better. I can come up with a million negative reasons about the light and the weather right now. So yeah. I'm not going to be able to find anything more today. Good morning, another new day. And today the temperature has moved up to around 0. So, as predicted, we have snow melting off the trees and drippity down. And the snow is starting to get thick and compact. The positive thing, it's not as cold being out. The negative thing is getting wet. And it's still dark grey flat skies. Very uninteresting. I've timed this trip extremely bad when it comes to the skies and the weather and the light especially. But those are things that you can't really plan, so it is what it is. The plan is to drive to a place called Helvetesfallet, which translates into Hell's Falls, which sounds interesting, right? Let's drive on. The sign behind me here looks promising. Warning, difficult slope. I've had to deal with one of those before. Signs, that is. Interesting to see if we are actually going to be able to come down to the waterfall at all. Or if it's too dangerous in this wet, slippery snow. Interesting. Hiking down a steep, slippery, uneven slope. It's hard not to think about Gavin Hardcastle and his excellent tumbling falls. Be a really good time to have a working microphone jack on the camera. But yeah, I think I'm going to shoot it this way, down the falls, and not really include the main part of the falls, but rather focus upon the canyon that is, well, downstream. I think that is going to be the most beautiful thing. So I'm actually just going to set up at once and try to frame the composition. I think I'm gonna use the wide angle here, so 60 to 35, because it's a lot in the scene. Let's see if we can frame anything now then. Well, now that we're away from the waterfall, we can talk again. It was a little bit too noisy without an external microphone, I think. But I photographed that scene really simple. You've probably seen the image already, so you know how it turned out. But I'm just really tired of this extremely flat light. It's getting boring. It's been like this basically all the trip. So that's kind of sad. Yeah, I photographed it. I looked around a little bit as well to see if I could find anything else, but yeah, I think the composition that I framed was the best one, but could have used some better light, a little bit more directional, having some more interest on it. What I'm probably going to have to do is to paint in a little bit more interest in Photoshop, so dodge and burn quite a bit. But yeah, that's that location. It was interesting, a little bit sketchy on the bridge there, with all the heavy snow lying on it as well, but yeah, I found that a little bit sketchy, at least. Yeah, I would consider coming back here another time, actually, when there's better light and when there isn't any snow. So during the summertime or autumn would probably be kind of awesome. Yeah, but that's that location for this time, at least. And well, I might just as well mention it that it might take years until I revisit this, since this is so far away from home, and I try to get some motivation going in this flat, boring light. Since it's so flat, I'm thinking perhaps something woodlandish again, another one. The grand landscapes simply don't really work in this light. That's just the truth. So let's go. the E45 road, also known as Inlandsvägen, from Orsa, and it's this nature reserve right here where we are now. And luckily we have this snowy mist that has drifted in, which is finally adding something to the landscape, which is basically isolation and separation. So I'm quite happy about that. And this reserve seems to be a more of a boggy kind of area, so we have a lot of open areas with few trees on them, which I think is going to work perfectly for the conditions we're having now, actually. Yeah, it looks beautiful. I'm thinking finding one lonely tree and then using lots of negative space to kind of emphasize the isolation of it. One word: solitude. That is really what I'm hoping to capture. The thing to think about in snow like this is do not walk too far into the scene before you're sure your composition is not going to include that area, because you can't undo the steps you've already taken in the snow. I found the first composition I want to capture here. This is a car driving by. Just next to the road, actually. It isn't a single tree, but it's a grouping of trees, and they're nicely separated, and it just fades into grey nothingness behind them, so very solitary in a way. I just need to frame it up the right way. It might move in a little bit. The longest lens I've with me is 85 millimeters. That is what I'm gonna have to work with. Not want too much on the sides, because there I can see the forest end starts or ends, or however you want to put it. I don't really want that in the scene. I want it to be just the trees softly. I'm going to add a little bit more depth into the scene when there's more trees. So I think actually it might even be better than a single tree. But yeah, let's pack up and get this composition going. I decided to include a little bit more than I said. Two reasons. One, the length of the lens. Second, it works. And having a little bit more complex adds a little bit more interest to the scene. It reduces the wow factor, but it adds a little bit more interest, in my opinion. And it seems like the mist is reducing, so it might be that the image I've already captured was the best one. I'm gonna stick around just a little bit to see what happens with the mist, but it's starting to snow more and more all the time now again. And it presents its own challenges, with front element getting constantly wet and it's hard to get dry. I should have a lens hood, shouldn't I? Just too lazy to carry it around. it's starting to snow quite severely. I'm not able to keep the lens element clean, but I think I managed to get a good capture of the scene, and it's quite a nice scene. I'm real happy with it, actually, from what I can see on the back of the camera at least. Yeah, but I'm gonna drive back the road and hope to find another parking lot where we can find another scene. Sadly, it seems like the mist is drawing back as the snow draws in, which is sad, but at least we got something interesting some interesting weather element out of all this dull weather we've had for the past couple of days. So I'm happy with that, at least. Yeah. Remember to like and share if you've enjoyed this video, and subscribe in order to stay tuned for the next episode.